Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Relix, and today we're going to go over a short little video here of Advance Wars by Web. It's been a long time since I put a video out, and I've been away from Advance Wars for a little bit. I just took a long break, not only from the channel itself as well, but just overall most games that I've been playing. So this is just kind of like one of those warm-up matches to get me right back into it. It was very interesting. This player, they don't have a rating on the website. They have an 800 rating, which is the standard. They've never played Global League before. So it's not like they're the best player ever. But I felt like I wanted to share this just because of what happened during the match. It was just kind of interesting to me, and the way that things played out. I thought it'd be a good watch. It'd be a good watch for you guys, especially since there is some guys who want to see more Advance Wars content on my channel, so this is out for you guys as well. So we have here a Kindle versus me as Rachel matchup. The guy's name is Narwhal. What a good name, Narwhal. So I like to be second player. If you guys have been around, you guys know that I like being the second player. I feel like the second player is easier to counter strike your opponents, but it's depending on how you play and what your opponent does, of course. And again, like I said, this guy isn't like a professional or anything. They have no rating, therefore probably expected that I would win. Not saying that I will straight out beat my opponents all the time, but it is just one of those things that hey, it'll be a good warm-up for me to get back into the thick of things, and maybe even start some Global League matches. So without further ado, let's get started. So again, I'm going to rush through this beginning. It's just capture phase. Okay, that was weird. My thing was lagging. I do apologize for that. So yeah, you got the capture phase. Nothing too fancy here. Obviously, got to go for the neutral bases in the center. However, interestingly, because I started with the extra infantry, I'm immediately going for it. It'll take me 3 turns to get there. He did not go after the neutral base, so already that was just like the tell that this guy's not a professional player. Probably just playing for fun. But either way, the match will still be quite interesting to watch. So now they go for the base with the second infantry. Obviously, mine was right here in this corner. That means theirs would be in this corner, because it does take 1, 2, 3 turns to get there, whereas if this base, 1, 2, 3, and then a 4th turn to capture. So that's why you would use that base specifically. So I obviously start capturing my base. Pretty straightforward stuff, going for the captures. Always want to try and get the chain captures if you can along the way. Again, just straight up infantry to start, nothing special. I do believe the first vehicle will be popping up soon. And so yeah, so again, I thought they were going to send their infantry from this base to the base, but they didn't. Unfortunately, they continued to use this guy here to move up here and then across the river. So he is unfortunately not playing this smart, but that's just the way it is. So I have my base, they do not, and we're starting to move out even more infantry. Again, as long as they're building infantry, I am going to continue to build my infantry, especially since I have the extra base now to build more than them. There's no reason for me to build a vehicle until they do. Again, like I said, second player has the easier time counter-attacking than the first player. So still more infantry, still continuing the capture game. Because of the fact that this base can now push out infantry more than they can, because they don't have it yet, I will have the numbers game early, and my infantry will be able to withstand any attacks that they throw at me. So I build the first vehicle. It'll be an actual battlecopter first, so an air unit. Seeing the terrain, there's a lot of mountains involved. I feel confident that, hey, if I move my battlecopter, if they build an anti-air this turn, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on this road here. I could, as long as my battlecopter is not in range, I could go up, or I could go down and stay out of range of the anti-air, and they will have to chase me. But if I go up, they can't cross these mountains. So that will be a huge advantage. I think being able to get that battlecopter out first was absolutely huge. So they do the same thing. They build a battlecopter and they have the money, so they also build an anti-air. At this time, you guys can see we have a lot of money saved up because of all the infantry building. And so, I built the battlecopter first of all because I thought, it's not too expensive, and then next turn, if I need to, I can still build like a medium tank if needed. If not, more battlecopters, because again, the terrain is very diverse with a lot of mountains blocking paths, like especially like right here in this area, this side, my side. So battlecopters are going to be huge for sure. So I do exactly what I said. I move my battlecopter out of range of this anti-air and moving up towards these mountains. If they want to chase me, they have to go through here and then through the forest, but by that time I will be away. The only thing they can do now is send that battlecopter down to actually, shoo me away from his cities. My infantry all move up. Again, I'm winning the capture game by a lot because of the fact that I got my neutral base and I'm dishing out even more infantry than usual, or not usual, but compared to my opponent. And yeah, they continue to do their captures. And because I have the extra base and the extra infantry, I don't mind sacking some guys to stop some captures as well. So interestingly enough, they build another battlecopter, this time in the middle airport, bottom middle. And they also build a recon and a tank. So the tank is to follow up on the anti-air because I have my own tank as well, or actually I have 2 tanks and anti-air. But they also build a recon. Me personally, I don't think recons are very useful, especially in non-fog of war matches. The only time you really build recons if you're like Nell or Sturm, at least in my opinion, or even Grim, because they have the extra firepower or they have the movement advantage, things like that. So in non-fog of war matches where you can see where this recon is going, especially with the terrain that we are working with, this recon is actually going to be quite useless to my opponent, and they're not going to get anything out of it. And that goes for most of my matches. Whenever someone builds a recon, there's no point. And again, as second player, I will usually have a slight bit extra income. I can build a tank to counteract that recon, and therefore this recon is nullified. So that's me personally. That's just my thoughts on recons, just to throw that out there if you guys didn't know that. I explained that before in different videos. In any case, so we go for our captures, and I go for the first strike here on this mountain, getting nice hits. Even though they are Kindle with extra firepower on a city, I have the extra defense on the mountain, so it's a worthy engagement, especially to stop their captures. Again, I have a 4k income lead as of this turn, and I'm the second player. Therefore, having more income as the second player gives me the hugest advantage because I'm able to counterattack anything that they throw at me. So if they only have, for example, they have 16,000. Let's just say they built medium tank. I'm going to have 20,000. I can actually build like 2 artillery. Heck, I could build 2 artilleries and and a tank. Lure them in with the tank, use the artillery kind of thing. It's not so much as just straight up firepower as much as having the numbers and the advantages, above your opponent. And I feel like this is one of those matches where, this is a learning lesson for my opponent. Not so much for me, because I already knew from the get-go when they didn't go for the neutral city that I was probably going to win this, straight up. Unfortunately, to Narwhal, that's something that you need to learn. And I think that goes for anyone who's watching this video. If you guys aren't exactly expert Advanced Wars players, even myself, I'm not, a professional or anything. These are small tidbits that you gotta keep in mind to help you remember, to counteract, to strategize, things like that for any game of Advanced Wars. So they decided to continue their capture on this city that I interrupted. They also used their infantry to get the first strike. Of course, this is one of those mistakes too as well, because yeah, you got the first strike, but there's no benefit here. My guy on the plains here is just going to walk into the mountain and just strike from the mountain. So he does regroup, making his infantry a 10. Quite interesting. Again, he's really fighting for that city. But of course, I have an anti-air here, and they have no tanks. This recon's not going to do anything for them, so very pointless. I'm going to interrupt the capture again without any issues. Anti-air stays put here in the front. Obviously, they have extra support. They even built a rocket launcher. Now, I feel like that's a huge mistake. Rocket was a little bit too early on the buildings, here. First of all, it's out of range of most of my units, and then two, they have to move into position, which will lead me to use my battlecopters to keep them away. I have a tank here as well, and I have plenty of infantry. There's only one infantry here for that captured, so they're losing out on a lot of units. You guys can see as well, after their turn as the first player, they're only one unit under me, and this is my turn. I haven't built anything yet, so the numbers game is definitely in my favor. Captures, captures, captures. I have now a 5k income lead, and I'm going to continue to interrupt their captures. Boom. So just like I said, in the north, infantry died. Anti-air moves up. Boom. City capture dies. No problem there. Yeah, he'll probably attack my infantry and kill him, but again, they'll lose out and they'll lose their infantry as well. I also interrupt the bottom city as well, so again, no problems there. I don't have an anti-air for that battlecopter, so I gotta move my battlecopter down. That way I can protect all my units in this area with that one battlecopter. I feel like in some matches, especially like matches like this one, where anti-airs will have a hard time chasing the battlecopters, the best way to counter a battlecopter is another one. And if not one, then two. Two is better, right? So I move my anti-airs. You guys can see there's one in the north not being threatened by any battlecopters, and then the middle one now is luring this one away. So that's where I stand on that. I build another battlecopter, so that way if he does attack, I can actually engage them as well, unless they engage from these two spots here. So that's my thought process when going into matches like this, especially since I'm not exactly the best, what do I want to say? I'm not the best at making my opponent maneuver a certain way, and so my mindset is just to go in thinking, what can I do to actually prevent them from doing something? And I feel like the battlecopter is the best way. Even if they interrupt my capture, and my battlecopter attacks first, I'm not going to kill their battlecopter, but I'll at least damage it to the point where if it does attack infantry, it should take retaliation damage, and therefore it's kind of useless. At the same time, it's not useless because they still interrupt captures. So like I said, in the north they went after my infantry. No surprise there. Use the recon to attack my anti-air, and I think to myself, like, what the heck is that? I don't know what's going on there. For all I know, maybe they thought that was tank. Again, this is probably a beginner player. They do have 80 games under their belt, so it's not like they haven't played the game, a good few matches, but at the same time, it's kind of funny. Rocket moves up, hiding behind those mountains. Good positioning, technically speaking. It also stops him from capturing the city as well. Battlecopter moves down, so now my anti-airs are no longer near any of battlecopters. And he decides to not build a battlecopter, but instead builds a missile launcher this turn. Again, this is one of those unfortunate units that should never really be built. Only under certain circumstances should missile launchers be built. So I thought to myself, are they quitting? Because there is a missile launcher meme that if you build one, you're giving up. But they didn't quit, so I was like, oh, okay, I guess that's an authentic build. So no battlecopters, just tank, infantry, and missiles. Great. Okay, we're continuing the match. Again, north, I don't care about getting more cities. I already have the income lead, so I'm just going to mop up your infantry as much as I can. Artillery moves into position. Infantry's form walls around it, using the mountain as well as a cover. Just moving my units up. Again, I get the first battlecopter engagement on theirs. The only thing that can kill it right now is this battlecopter, which I have another one, plus the anti-air, and or their anti-air, which if they use this one, I have my artillery to shoot on them as well. So it's not looking very good for them in that corner, or that part of the map. The only place that they have a presence is technically the center, like right here. Their infantry, I can't just walk into their infantry yet. I can if I use my anti-air, but they'll probably do a build tank this turn most likely. Continue to use battlecopter to attack my infantry. They know that if I move in with other units, they can probably pick them off. But then they move their rocket up one, so now it's really out of range of my units, and I thought to myself, is that really a good move? I didn't think so. Missile launcher moves up, so now I can't attack the fresh Battlecopter with my new one, but that's okay, because on my turn, I'm going to use this Battlecopter to attack the 3 and destroy it. This anti-air is going to move down and protect me from this one. So again, in a sense, we're trading Battlecopters, not to mention mine is still alive, it's a 1. And even though it's a 1, it's still alive, it can still do something. So again, counterattacking is my forte, not so much as striking down first. So the fact that they did that is not surprising, and works in my favor. And then they build a second missile launcher, so at this point I'm like, okay, this guy's kind of sad, but I'm going to take my time, because you make one mistake even against a weak player like this, you can throw the game. They even build a mech in the center. It's actually a decent build considering the terrain and all the mountains. So even if I were to send my anti-air or my tanks in to attack these infantry, this one mech could literally counter them, and that's not going to be good for me. So seeing that their power is also coming in soon, I want to try and stay off as many properties as I can. So I form a nice little wall here with my artillery, with some weakened infantry in front, keeping my healthy ones at the back for now. And again, I destroy the Battlecopter in the bottom, try to get a nice hit on the missile launcher. I think I only did like 9% maximum damage, so there's no way they're going to take damage. But in the long run, it will help probably if I have to hit it with like infantry or something. So like I said, I moved my anti-air down to cover my Battlecopters as well, so that even if they want to, they have to kill this infantry first, or this one, using their tank, and then they can strike my Battlecopter with their Battlecopter. But again, it would be a pretty big waste if they did. So I build more Battlecopters. No point, I have one anti-air, that's good enough. They only have one Battlecopter, so build more Battlecopters. I gotta get around these mountains, even though they have missiles and one anti-air. The missiles themselves won't be any use if I can just strike them first. So it destroys my Battlecopter, no big deal. It was going to die anyways. Builds a second mech. Again, mechs in this area is not too bad actually. The only downside is they can't move far, not to mention it's not giving them any territory advantage. They continue to spread out their infantry, another Battlecopter, more indirects. Again, I don't know, this is starting to get a little bit scary just because of the fact they are all indirects, but at the same time, it's quite useless because they won't be able to ever strike me, and seeing that they have the disadvantage right now, they need to move in and attack. And they even build another mech in the top. That's interesting. So again, their power is coming in. I still want to stay off the properties. I don't want to give them any extra advantages. Get a nice free shot on that infantry there as well. There's nothing in range to stop me. And I continue to build my wall up even more. You guys can see my unit count is just going up. So I'm going to speed through this a little bit more. They build another rocket in the south. More Battlecopters, more infantry. Not surprising. We're just building up our walls at this point. I even go for the bottom city capture because I feel like I have a big enough wall. Not to mention this artillery is still hiding. Oops. It's still hiding behind this mountain right here and is in range of the city. So I'm able to protect my capturing infantry if needed, and there's no issue there. And again, building the walls all the while. And more Battlecopters. I have now what? How many Battlecopters is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 Battlecopters, from out the middle to the bottom. That's crazy. This is actually probably the most Battlecopters I ever had in a single match, to be honest, in Advanced Wars by Web. I don't necessarily care about Battlecopters as much. Again, they didn't do much. They didn't move many units, keeping their infantry spread, waiting for me to attack first. And I said, that's fine, I get the bottom city. And with that in mind, I'm going to... By the way, they left this Battlecopter open, so I was like, hey, you know what? 9,000 Battlecopter for my 8,000 anti-air? Sure, why not? And the sooner I get my super, the better. I'm going to, use my missiles to blow these guys away, right? So, have at it. Kill my anti-air. Feel free. I killed your Battlecopter for free. I have multiple Battlecopters to counter your one Battlecopter down there, so it's no big deal. Not to mention the plethora of tanks I have as well. So again, I built another anti-air to replace the one I'm about to lose though. Because again, you need the anti-air. They are very useful. They're not just useful against Battlecopters, but against infantry as well. So they do kill me. Actually, they actually one-shotted my anti-air. Was that for sure? It was. Okay, I was just making sure. So with the extra Kindle firepower, they did kill my entire with one shot. Actually, that was actually very shocking. I forgot how strong Kindle's attacks can be while on cities. So they move their units around, and then more battlecopters, more mechs. Again, they are playing defense. They probably realize that they can't strike me first, right? Not with the units they have. So they're waiting for me to come in and attack. And you guys can see here, my unit count is actually getting close to the max. It is 50. So I'm starting to realize that. And as I go for this north city to make my capture lead even bigger, I think to myself, I need more super units. So I built a medium tank last turn. I have 27,000 now. So I'm going to start building more super units. That way we can, you know, I can strike harder and faster. I actually moved this battlecopter into the city, and as soon as I saw that, I knew I made a huge mistake. But either way, I'm still going to go with my plan and build a bomber. It is very rare that I even build bombers in Advanced Wars by Web. They are scary as hell when built against me. But when I build them, oh my goodness, it feels like I got all the power in the game, and it's very rare I do. I prefer to have Neo tanks just because Neo tanks are my favorite unit, and they, you know, allow for more devastation on the ground because most matches are ground matches. But in this situation with all the mountains, I think the bomber is the best choice here. Again, like I said, my unit count is fairly high. I'm 4 away from the max. So I go for the city. They're continuing to build more indirect units, and they even use their urban blight. So let's take a look. I had 211k stocked up, you know, in value. I only went down 11k, so it's not much. Again, they hit the city capturing 1 infantry, 2 infantry, 3 infantry. They hit the battlecopter I put on the city. I knew they're going to use their power probably, as well as my bomber. However, I'm Rachel. I recover 3 HP, so all the units that just got hit, they're going to recover. Ta-da! Except for the battlecopter, of course, and the one that's capturing. And that doesn't matter because, again, I have the capture lead, I have the value lead, I have all the unit count already. So technically, me losing some money doesn't matter because I'm already at the max. You know, I'm still doing to build super units. So I continue to capture. I even move up my guys a little bit more, making my wall that much closer to my opponent. And again, they can't break through these walls because of the way I'm forming it. There is no units here unless they get really lucky. I think if they use their tank or battlecopter to attack on the forest. Yeah, so unless this 8 right here is somehow slightly weakened, they can break through. But other than that, it's a luck roll. So, not likely to break through. Really not likely to break through. So, I'm going to speed up here just a tiny bit. Just moving my units again. Just forming the walls. You know, making it bigger, longer throughout the center of the map. And again, they're deciding not to move in and attacking. I get the city on the 17th turn now. I'm going to move in. Okay, so by the way, so here we go. I'm going to actually look at this. Here we go. This is it. This is the turn. This is where I make my move, right? Obviously, I have a huge advantage, but this is the reason why I made this video, just because of the fact that it just looks so good. You know, I hate wall-to-wall engagements. It just sucks, and it really causes one to think on both sides. Both opponents need to think about it. When do you strike, or when do you just pull back, kind of thing. And this is my moment to strike. And so that's why I made this video, just because I wanted to show off this, you know, this attack. I just thought it was really nice. Even though, again, like I said, this guy's not the best player, so obviously not the best walls either. But I just thought it was kind of really cool to see. So I get the city. Medium tank destroys an infantry. Seems like a waste, right? Anti-air moves up. Ooh, battlecopter. Sweet. Tank moves in, hits the infantry on the force. Infantry moves in, killed it. Oh look, another battlecopter. Sweet. I don't need my anti-air anymore. Battlecopter moves in, and I am officially, what is that? 8,000 funds short. 8,000 funds short for my power, so I said, screw it. I sack a battlecopter, and I use my super. hitting all missiles in the south. Look at the devastation there. So they went from 193k to 140, round up, that's 143. They lost 50k. 50,000 funds from my missile right here. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. And this is where the GG happens. The helicopter moves in, infantry moves in. I'm picking off all the units one by one, destroying everything in my path. Was hoping for the luck roll here on the 10 and 7, but it didn't happen. So I had to use another farther tank to destroy it. And then I continue to move in. Boom, 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 boom. There is no longer any anti-airs or missiles to attack my bombers and battlecopters, therefore I'm 100% safe, except for the one battlecopter here that's on the airport that will recover. But that doesn't matter because I have a plethora of battlecopters as well as an anti-air. So continue to move in, destroy, destroy, destroy. Absolutely devastating attack here for them. Yeah, look at this. This is just incredible. And I'm not done. We got a few more units going for the capture on their city as well. Artillery moves in, not exactly in range of anything, but they want to try and stop the capture. Then I will officially get them on that hit, and there's nothing they can really do about it. Again, no anti-airs in the north as well, so my one battlecopter that's up there gets to attack whatever it wants, and my artillery also gets to move up as well. So absolutely devastating for them. And they even have their super now, but that doesn't matter. Look at the difference. I have maximum population now, and I have, you know, all the captures. I destroyed them. It was just an absolutely beautiful turn for me. One of the most beautiful turns I've ever done. Even though, like I said, not the best player, but there's just something about doing these turns like this, and it's just beautiful to watch, right? You can't say you didn't enjoy seeing that, right? So they use their super, going for their final attacks. You know, not surprising in some of the engagements. Obviously, when I strike with, you know, all that power against indirects, they have some indirects left to attack back. Either way, it's not going to matter because I just have too much of a lead to not be ahead. Even though they're getting some one-shots, you know, I'm still going to win no matter what. They even built a fire to counteract my air units, but at this point it doesn't really matter. You know, like I said, I've already won. So again, I use my air units, move in, using my battlecopters first because I don't care if their fighter hits my battlecopters. I gotta protect my bomber. And so I move in for the attacks, getting all these hits, covering their base and covering my bomber. Look, their fighter can no longer enter. There's nothing they can do to get my bomber. And I don't care if I lose my battlecopters. They need to kill 2 battlecopters and a little bit more to make up for the same price of a fighter in battlecopter kills. So it doesn't really matter to me. And because I'm covering their base and there's no units here, I'm heading to their base to capture it, and there's nothing they can do. So continuing my attack, I'm destroying everything in my path. I have no anti-air in the south, but that's okay. I don't care if they kill my battlecopters. I'm going to get the base. There's nothing they can do. I even move in, locking down their rockets a little bit too. And I'm starting to capture the airport as well. This is obviously GG at this point, but you know, they didn't quit, so I'm going to continue my attacks as well. And again, I still have 41 units to 15 right now. I'm just going to continue to build a bunch of units. I even built my own fighter to counter theirs. I mean, look at the range on this thing. The air units on this map are just really powerful. I mean, there's a reason why there's 2 airports, right? And there's even these ports here. You could build carriers out of them if you get the money for it. And, you know, it just locks down a huge area. These fighters are they just move across the whole map. So they do a few engagements here. You know, just playing out their turn. And then, of course... Oh, by the way, I don't know how that happened. I don't know what just happened here. I actually let my bomber get hit. I didn't realize at the time that I moved out my infantry too far. And boom, he actually destroyed my bomber. But look, I got my super again because of it. So it's not the biggest deal. Not to mention my fighter is here as well. So I definitely screwed up that. Again, this is one of those warm-up matches. And then they resign after that. So this is one of those warm-up matches for me coming back in. Obviously, I thought my bomber was 100% covered, but it wasn't. So again, I'm not perfect. I gotta warm up back into things, and this was a really good match to do that. Got everything. I got some capture games, huge capture games going. Infantry advantage. The terrain was actually very diverse, so that was really useful for me to practice using the terrain to my advantage, or my disadvantage rather, too, as well. Super units were involved, battlecopters, air units. Again, I didn't see that bomber being exposed, so I needed to watch out for my movement, in future matches. But overall, it was a really fun match for me. Even though I knew from the first, or rather the second turn, I knew I was going to win. You have to go after those neutral bases, narwhal. You have to capture those things. But overall, it was still fun. I mean, look at this. The fighter's going to go over here. Or heck, I don't even need to use the fighter. I could trap it with infantry, which would be absolutely hilarious. But yeah, it was an overall fun match. I enjoyed it. That wall break was just absolutely amazing on turn 17. Again, I mean, it went from this to this. Like, the wall literally just slid in closer. It was just a beautiful turn for me, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button, comment down below what you guys thought, and of course subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I can't promise I'm going to get more Advanced Wars videos out, yet alone rise up in Global League rating or not. Global League just isn't my thing. I do like playing some public matches with some people who've actually watched my channel. Some people actually see me in the public matches and they join up and they're excited to play against me. So if that's some of you guys, thank you guys for watching me and viewing my profile. I do have fun with matches with you guys, as well as anyone who is new to the channel. So if you guys feel like you want to play matches as well, feel free to send me a invite as well. We can play a few matches. I don't mind, because like I said, I want to get back into the thick of things, and playing with you guys will definitely help me warm up that way as well. I don't have as much time as I would want to be able to focus on all these matches that I would want to play. So doing a couple here and there is definitely a huge boost for me if you guys could help me out. If not, no worries. That's why they're public matches. As far as what's to come, again, I mentioned in the previous video in my Hero Academia reviews that I put out a community post that I've been away for a little bit and burnt out on the production of stuff. But as the summer is winding down and hopefully the heat dies down with it, because it is quite hot here, I get back into the thick of things and I get some Advanced Wars going. I got to finish Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. I knew I stopped like literally more than halfway, and it kind of sucks. These are now the biggest chapters, so I definitely need to put some time and effort into them. I actually didn't start the Kingdoms of Amalur Fate DLC, or Warsworn DLC, I think, and so I need to do that. And then of course hockey is around the corner. Preseason starts in a month and a half now, so I really need to get things going. So for those who are usual followers, this is your recap here as well. Hockey will be coming back out again, so within the next week or two I will have the King season review, as well as some player reviews, and then of course going to what is to come into the future. And as for anyone else who's watching for games, again, stay tuned for those things. I will try my best to resume my usual games as well, alongside of the hockey stuff. But again, hockey is my main thing and video games is second. So I do want to try and do my best to get both things out for you guys. But thank you guys for watching up to this point. If you have, again, I said I was going to be short, but at the same time, just kind of want to make this a little bit of announcement. But thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you guys hopefully sooner than later in the next videos to come. Again, the only thing that will stay consistent is my My Hero reviews. Other than that, I hope you guys will look out for those videos and stay tuned for whenever they come out. So thank you for watching. Take care. Bye bye.